Chapter 2. The Next Secret of Yoga, Concealed by the Siddhars 10,000 years ago. Chapter 2. The Origin of the Subtle Elements, Manobhutas. In alignment with the description of the 5 koshas, sheaths, mentioned earlier, the genesis of the tattvas, fundamental principles, is expounded in scriptures such as the Samkhya Shastra. Solely through the will, or icha, of the Supreme Being, Parama Purusha, a spanda, that is, a vibration or movement, first arises. From this, a triangular consciousness emerges, characterized by the perceptions of I, this, and I and this. From this source, the 5 subtle elements and the 3 gunas, sattva, rajas, and tamas, come into existence. Subsequently, the internal faculties, comprising buddhi, manas, ahamkara, and chitta, as well as the sensory organs, indriyas, and the gross elements, bhutas, are born. Through the process of panchikarana, quintessence, the gross elements differentiate and then recombine to give rise to all living beings, ranging from the vast cosmos, Brahmanda, down to the smallest ant. Initially, before the manifestation of the creative triangular force, the Maha Kundalini, the Great Kundalini, exists in the form of a serpent coiled around Shiva himself. Upon completing the acts of creation, this great power, Mahashakti, descends to the Muladhara chakra, where she coils herself around the Swayambhu Lingam situated there, and enters a state of repose. The essence of yoga sadhana, spiritual practice, lies in awakening this dormant Kundalini Shakti and, in a systematic progression, guiding her to transcend the gross elements and the internal faculties, antakaranas, ultimately reuniting her with her primordial source, the Maha Kundalini, within the state of Brahmananda, supreme bliss. Secondly, the renowned scholar Sir John Woodroffe briefly elucidates this concept in his work titled Akshara Mala. Within the realm of Para-Brahman, the supreme reality, the Unmani and Sammani Shaktis, powers, emerged. These, namely the Shiva Tattva, the Vidya Tattvas, including Nada, Bindu, and Sad Vidya, and Sabda Brahman, emerged respectively through the manifestations of Mantra Mahashvara, Yoga Rahasya Nidhi, Vara, Mantrashvara, and the mantras themselves. Subsequently, the Atma Tattva, encompassing the range from the intellect, Buddhi Samashti, down to the earth element, Prithvi, came into existence. 3. In this context, the essence of the Upanishadic view is that the Icha Shakti of the Supreme Brahman, Para-Brahman, initiates a movement known as Unmesha, a stirring or unfolding. From this arises Avyakta, the primordial avidya, ignorance. From this, in turn, emerged the Mahat Tattva, the cosmic intellect or Buddhi Samashti, Ahamkara, the ego, the 5 subtle elements or Sukshma Bhutas, and all the gross creations formed through the process of Panchikarana, the quintuplication of elements. 4. The philosophical tenet that Sabda Brahman, sound as God, unites with the Supreme Brahman to orchestrate the act of creation is a concept found in various religions, including Christianity. The inseparable union of vak, speech or sound, and artha, meaning, which appears simultaneously, is believed to endow the mantras prevalent in many religious traditions with the power to grant spiritual fulfillment, siddhi. In the subsequent sections, the names of the various tattvas, philosophical principles, and the specific sequences of their evolution are outlined in accordance with these diverse philosophical systems. Since the primary objective of this book is to serve as a guide for the practice of yoga, yoga sadhana, It is not necessary to engage here in a scholarly inquiry, shastra vichara, to determine which of these various philosophical systems is correct or incorrect. One may simply adopt a specific framework for understanding these tattvas that resonates with one's own mind and proceed with the practice of yoga accordingly. Lord Krishna himself has endorsed this very principle in the 11th skanda of the Srimad Bhagavatam. Having enumerated the various classifications of tattvas in diverse ways, he graciously declared that it is not essential to insist that only one specific system among them is the absolute truth. Panchakarana refers to the process of the combination or quintuplication of the 5 fundamental elements. No fundamental element, bhuta, exists in isolation. Rather, each is formed through a process of intermingling with the other elements. Within each element, its own specific constituent accounts for exactly half of its composition. The remaining half is constituted by contributions from the other 4 elements, with each contributing 1/8 of the total. Thus, within the element of space, akasha, half of its substance consists of space itself. Incorporated within this is 1/8 parts each of air, fire, water, and earth. Similarly, within the element of air, half of its substance consists of air itself. Mixed into this are 1/8 parts each of space, fire, water, and earth. Within the element of fire, Agni, half of its substance consists of fire itself. Incorporated within this are 1/8 parts each of space, air, water, and earth. Within the element of water, half of its substance consists of water itself. Incorporated within this are 1/8 parts each of space, air, fire, and earth. Within the element of earth, half of its substance consists of earth itself. Incorporated within this are 1/8 parts each of space, air, fire, and water. Through this explanation, the doctrine of Panchakarana, quintuplication, elucidates that everything existing in the world is not formed by a single element alone, but rather by a composite blend of all the fundamental elements. Further note: the 5 fundamental elements, commencing with space, are each conceptually divided into 1/2 portion and 4 quarter portions. The half portions are specifically designated within the respective cells of the diagram. In the row corresponding to a specific element, where its half portion is marked, one may understand that the remaining 4 cells represent the 4 quarter portions contributed by the other elements. For instance, in the first row, within the cells designated for mind and intellect, one should recognize the presence of the quarter portion of space. Clarification: in the row corresponding to a specific element, as indicated by the marked cells, the remaining 4 cells within that same row are to be interpreted as containing the respective contributions from the other elements. For example, in the first row, one should recognize the presence of the quarter portion of space. These subtle elements, which are intrinsically linked to the gunas, fundamental qualities, are understood to have originated sequentially one from the other. Subsequently, through the process of Panchakarana, all individual and collective gross creations came into existence. Each gross entity thus born